After they traded Golden Tate, they're starting to look like they're just, I hate to say giving up, but they're just not.
But they'd like to
well.
get their coach fired.
Yeah, well, that's probably not going to happen in 1 year, especially in Detroit.
But you can start working on the project.
Yes. Could be.
As you noted in our show prep, Trubisky has been very boom and bust.
Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at his stats game by game for this season so far, he's got 5 games that he's got a rating of 85 or under. He's got 3 games with a rating of 120 or higher. So, the 5 that are under against Green Bay, which, not a great defense, at least not. They could be in time, but right now I think they're still trying to figure it out. Seattle, good defense, so you can understand that. New England, good defense, can understand that. But Buffalo and Arizona are 2 of the other games. So he's just been really up and down this year. And, the 3 that he's over 120, Detroit, Miami, and Tampa Bay. So you kind of look at it and go, you said the Vikings really haven't beaten a great opponent yet. I don't know that Trubisky's handled a great opponent yet either.
And he also made the note, is this right? He's 1-6 against the NFC North?
Yes.
That's
beating Detroit on Sunday was his first NFC North win.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So that's one of those kind of weird ones where you go, why is that? And I don't know why it is, but I'm not sure how relevant it is, but it is a fact. So he's 0-2 against Minnesota and Mike Zimmer.
Another note about Trubisky coming up. We do want to remind you, Bite Squad, bitesquad.com. Use the Bite Squad app this weekend, Friday through Sunday. You can get 10% off your order by using the promo code WILD2018. All caps WILD2018. Bite Squad, food for your mood delivered. Also, we will be doing a live show at one of our home bases, Mississippi Pub, MississippiPub.com, which also is working in conjunction with Beaver Island Brewing out of St. Cloud to sponsor the program. And reminder, it's in Invergrove Heights, 4455 66th Street East. Use GPS to get there. You'll be looking out over the river, over the marina. This time of year, it's a beautiful view. They have great comfort food. They have breakfast Saturday and Sunday. They have a fish fry on Friday. Burgers, very affordable burgers for lunch every day. Ribs on Saturdays. Full rack $16, half rack $12. Check out all their deals, including the $6 burgers for lunch at MississippiPub.com. And when you're there, get a Beaver Island brew to go with it. So Trubisky also, the one thing he does, he's got a little Ponder in him. Now we think he's better than we think he's a lot better than Ponder, but he does have that little bit of Ponder in him where if he doesn't see somebody open pretty quickly, he's pulling it down and running.
Yeah, and to me, he is a pretty impressive runner as a quarterback, and not always just to get out for yards past the line of scrimmage, but to buy time behind the line of scrimmage and try to have somebody open up for him in the receiving game. To me, it's also interesting when you look at him, and he's got a new offense with Matt Nagy, and he's got kind of new receivers with Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, so Trey Burton, all of these guys. So to me, if the Vikings are going to continue their success against Trubisky, it's got to be this year, because next year and the years to come, I think they're going to really figure things out, and I think they're already starting to figure things out. He's got Trubisky 320 yards rushing so far, which is a really good number. I think he's their second leading rusher, in fact, with Jordan Howard just ahead of him and Tariq Cohen just behind him. And the Bears have kind of gone the way that Trubisky goes. If he's playing well, they win. He's got 108 rating in his 11 career wins, and his rating in the 11 losses, 75. So if he's playing well, they win. If he's not, they're not winning. Now, I think when you enter Khalil Mack into the equation, that kind of should help even things out over the next couple of years.
It's going to be a fascinating stretch here. We talked about Zimmer making the adjustments. He's faced 3 really good offenses / quarterbacks this year. Aaron Rodgers scored 29 points on him. Jared Goff with Sean McVay scored 38, and Drew Brees put up 30. And now you have, we don't know what Trubisky's going to do on Sunday night, but Chicago is a very interesting offensive team. Nagy is from the Andy Reid school, and Andy Reid's school is doing very well right now.
Yes, it is.
So you have a very interesting offensive to go up against Sunday. Then you have Aaron Rodgers in the rematch. Then you have Tom Brady at New England. And then you have Russell Wilson, who quietly has put up the second best quarterback rating in NFL history, right behind Aaron Rodgers.
Wow, I didn't even realize that. But, I mean, look at those two. Both of them very similar in, they're buying time constantly, getting out of the pocket or even moving within the pocket. And usually I think the perception on quarterbacks like that is, they're great runners. Well, those two run as much to set up the pass as they do to actually get out and run. Now, Russell Wilson, I think, will run a little bit more than Aaron Rodgers will, especially this year and because he's younger and healthier. But, both of those two are going to be problems for the Vikings. And the thing that impressed me the most about the Vikings' defense against Detroit, Matthew Stafford isn't really a runner, but they did a great job of containing him in the pocket and not allowing him to get outside. They were very disciplined in the way that they rushed him. And, quite frankly, it was one of those things where you could, one or two guys are always going to end up with a sack or splitting the sack, but there were a lot where, one side of the defensive line is pressuring Stafford into the other side of the line. So they're going to have to continue to do that. And against Trubisky, especially, against Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Stafford not so much, Tom Brady not so much. But you do have to get pressure without allowing them the lanes to get out of there.
I misspoke. It was passer rating. Career passer rating goes Aaron Rodgers 1, Russell Wilson 2, Drew Brees 3, Tom Brady 4, then Romo, Young, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, Kirk Cousins number 9, Matt Ryan number 10. A pretty interesting rating system. Obviously reflects the way offenses have evolved and become more efficient, but also Russell Wilson's really good. I'm not sure a lot of people really know that, and that'll be another interesting test here. Let's get down to the Bears. When you do scout them, what do you think their strengths are?
Well, when you look at their offense, there are so many. They're a little bit like the Saints with Tariq Cohen kind of playing the Alvin Kamara role. He is a really quick back and really good out of the backfield. Now, can they afford to have him in there without having Howard in there? Because, if the Vikings are going to come after Trubisky with the blitz, I'm not sure how well Tariq Cohen's going to stand up as a pass protector. So that part's going to be interesting. They do a ton of the bunch formations where they'll have 3 receivers on one side and a lot of the misdirection, kind of what McVay likes to do too. Sending receivers across the formation, making you think they're going to go one way, maybe faking it one way, dumping it the other. There's just a lot of what I call eye candy in their offense, where they're trying to figure out, or they're trying to confuse whether it's a defensive end or a linebacker on where this play is going. So once again, it's going to be the Vikings have to be really disciplined in the way that they play them. I was surprised when I look at the overall NFL stats. Bears are 5th in scoring this year. I didn't think that was the case. But
they break, they've scored. Yeah, they've scored a lot of points. I don't know how else to put it, but they can really fool you. And what's interesting about them is they can score a lot of points when Trubisky's a little off. They can score a lot of points when they don't run it well. They can score a lot of points when they don't get it far downfield. They find ways to get people open.
Well, and it seems like there are different offensive players, skill position guys that are getting hot at different times, where Cohen can have a big game one day. The next time, Allen Robinson's getting back, so he's having bigger games. Trey Burton can be a factor. It used to be, you've got Jordan Howard out there. I was going to say O.J. Howard, the tight end, but Jordan Howard used to be kind of the bell cow of that offense, and now he's probably playing fourth fiddle to the other guys. Cohen and Allen Robinson and Taylor Gabriel. So there's a lot that the Vikings have to look out for with this offense.
They scored 48 against the Bucs on September 30th. They scored 31 against the Patriots in a loss. They scored 41 against the Bills, which we wouldn't be so impressed with if the Vikings hadn't had their troubles, and they just scored 34 against the Lions. So yeah, they can get on a roll, and I don't know. I'm as I was talking about with Scott earlier, I'm really fired up about this 4-game stretch just from because as a media person, as a writer, you want drama, you want intrigue, and this is as intriguing a stretch as I can remember.
Well, they've got two very, very good teams in the NFC in recent years, especially with the Seattle and Green Bay. They've got Tom Brady and Bill Belichick with New England, and I'm just really curious to see where this whole Bears thing goes with Matt Nagy and his offense. When you look at it, they're very interesting offensively. And, I think eventually teams are going to start to figure out better ways to handle all of the motions and all the RPOs. That's kind of part of what Chicago does with Trubisky as well. A lot of play action. But there are just so many things that try to get a defender out of his lane and then take advantage of that and hit on some big plays. And, early in the year, with the Vikings defense playing the way they were, Bears could have put up 40 against the Vikings if they were having those missed assignments. And that wasn't always against such trickery, if you will, or such eye candy on offense. So, this one, I think, is going to be really interesting to see. The Vikings are coming out of the bye. Zimmer's had time to study. Do they play a disciplined style of defense, or, are they sluggish coming out of the bye? If they are, they're going to get hammered in Chicago. If they're playing disciplined, they've got a really good chance to win.
Let's get to the Bears defense. First, let's thank John Hedges, our friend from Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com. John comes out to our shows at Delano's all the time. He runs the big shop out at the Mall of America, third floor by the Nordstroms. And he also is responsible for the smaller shop in the Skyway downtown. It's very convenient to all the downtown businesses.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at Mall of America. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at FixologyMN on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
So is there defense? How dependent is their defense on Khalil Mack?
Fairly, not just for the sacks, though, I would say, because he's got 7 sacks, which is nice in the 7 games he's played. But to me, it's also kind of figuring out what he's going to do on a certain play. Is he coming on a blitz? Is he back in coverage? To me, when I look at this defense, I see kind of they live off of the big play. They live off of Khalil Mack, with sacks and strip sacks and things like that. And they live off of him creating pressure for the interceptions. They have 16 interceptions already this year, which is an ungodly amount. And it kind of goes back to what was about 10 years ago when the Bears were sort of in that, hey, Peanut Tillman is intercepting a lot of passes. And so I think they are kind of that big play defense where they feed off of that. But they're still 4th in overall defense, which, again, it kind of surprised me looking at it. They're 2nd against the run. They're 1st in average yards per rush attempt. So it's not going to be an easy game for the Vikings to get the running game going. And you're playing in about 30-degree weather on a Sunday night in a windy condition. So, their passing game is going to have to be on point too. Kendall Fuller has just been very good for them. So it's really interesting to me to see how far the Bears have come both offensively and defensively in Matt Nagy's first year there.
We'll do a prediction later because I think this is an interesting game to predict. Not that we're going to be right, but it's a good format in which to discuss the game. One stat that you have brought up, the Vikings are 2nd in the percentage of 3 and outs forced on defense at 38.5%, and the Bears are 6th. So that's the interesting thing is you have 2 really strong defenses that are playing well right now going up against 2 very difficult offenses to defend.
Yeah, and the other thing, the number of first downs given up. I think the Bears are maybe first or second in the league in first downs given up defensively. The Vikings are like fifth or sixth. So there are